Good evening, welcome back to another video. Stephen here, talking about the Manchester City. Of course, our quintuple treble winners. Quintuple treble, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Our quintuple trophy winners, our treble winners are back in action tomorrow. Away in the Premier League at St. James's Park against struggling right now Newcastle United. It should be a really interesting game of football, and I'm here today to talk about all the preview news. Please do give this video a like, by the way, before we get going, and help subscribe. Help me get to 70k by subscribing to the channel if you don't mind. It does help a fellow blue, so do me a big favor and click that like button and click that subscribe button, and do also let me know down in the comments. Here's a task for you in the comments. Get in the comment box right now. Predict the 11. Predict the 11. I will read back through the comments tomorrow and see who was right. I want to see who's a genius, who's going to get the 11 tomorrow, and predict the score as well. Please do that. Let me know down in the comments of the video what you think the 11 will be and what you think the score will be tomorrow. Of course, City looking good at the moment. There's been loads going on in the world of Manchester City in terms of lots of joy and lots of success. Today I'll go through the team news. I'll go through Guardiola's quotes from the press conference. I'll look at Newcastle a little bit. You are in a weird place right now, Newcastle. That bubble could have burst already. And before I do all that, I want to talk about today's sponsor on the channel. Football Prizes, the wonderful people of Football Prizes, have got this fantastic competition. You could win a signed and custom framed Jack Grealish shirt, a Man City shirt. Jack Grealish, of course, a treble winner. It's got inbuilt LED lights as well, so it look wonderful on your bedroom wall, your man cave, or your lady cave, or whatever. Is that, what's it called? Man cave? Is a woman cave a thing? I don't know. Either way, you know what I'm getting at. If you've got a Man City shrine anywhere, Jack Grealish, one of the nicest guys in football, that could be on your wall. 199 tickets. They've already been 72 tickets sold, so you want to get involved, be quick. The competition ends on Monday for the cost of £3.95. It sounds like a lot, but it isn't. That's the Starbucks, if you know what I mean. It's nothing. It's what you pay for a bus ticket these days. You could win a signed Jack Grealish shirt. Good luck to all who enter. Fingers crossed one of you guys win it. If you do get involved, let me know, of course, as well. DM me on Twitter to say if you've entered, and I'll be happy to see, hopefully, one of you guys win it. I want an esteemed company follower to win that prize. It would be good. So let's look at the quotes from Guardiola. First of all, the breaking news early on was that Haaland and John Stones had been ruled out. Unfortunately, they're not available. Guardiola said Jack has been sick, and hopefully today he's back. Grealish has not been well, so there's a slight doubt. He said Erling is out, John Stones is out. I think that's everything. It's been a long time now, Erling Haaland. I think he's missed nearly 10 games. It was obviously much more serious than they let on, the Haaland injury. It feels like his first proper injury since he joined Manchester City. The kind of ones that he was getting at Dortmund. I mean, thankfully, Julian Alvarez is banging form, so I'm not worried. It's a shame because obviously Haaland back would be wonderful. But it's been a serious blow now, Erling Haaland. You know, he's been out for an awful long time. Imagine how many goals he would have if he'd been playing all this time. But once again, we do have Alvarez. So I am sort of calm about this. Alvarez is banging form right now. He's been excellent. He's been firing his success, of course, to the Club World Cup. Recent run of form from Manchester City has been excellent, and Alvarez has been at the heart of that. His link-up play with Foden has been great. But still, Haaland, Stones, we need him back, man. If we get them back, it'd be wonderful stuff. Jack Grealish is an interesting one, not quite well. There was footage today of him trading now. Was it today? Was it yesterday? I don't know, but he looked okay. Pep, of course, paid a tribute to Sven-Göran Eriksson. He said he's a gentleman. I admire his courage. Hopefully he can stand his battle. Lots of love to him from everyone at City. If you don't know what that's about, apparently Sven-Göran Eriksson, not apparently, is confirmed, sadly, has announced that he's got cancer, sadly, and he could have less than a year to live. I'm devastated to hear that. I love Sven-Göran Eriksson. Sven's football during that season, just before the takeover, actually, was some of the most enjoyable I've seen in a Manchester City shirt at that point, if not the most enjoyable. Weirdly, Sven's campaign made me feel closer to the club than pretty much anything, because when Sven was rumoured to be on his way out, I actually started the petition to save our Sven at the time. I'm not sure if any of you guys remember that, but if you hunt it down, I was the one that wrote that out, and it went viral online, and I did that because I loved Sven's football, and it was like, it sort of brought me closer to the club. He did, because his football was great, and his charm, and the players that we had, and the signings were great with Petrov and Bojanov and Alano and Giovanni and Corluka, and we had such a good time, you know, and Michael Johnson in that team, Stevie Ireland out there balling as well. It was just a good, fun time, you know. Kasper Schmeichel in goal at one point, Micah Richards, of course. I enjoyed it. So Sven, thank you so much, man. An absolute legend. Fingers crossed he has a while with his loved ones yet. Fingers crossed he does. Guardiola did talk about Kevin De Bruyne. He said he's ready to start. I can see he's very good, and the trip to Abu Dhabi will do him good too. Now I'm ready to start. Points for anyone who can get that in the chat who was singing that. But Kevin De Bruyne ready to start is pretty much the news that the Premier League was dreading to fear. Wonderful news. Kev looked fantastic the other day against Huddersfield. In fact, it impressed me so much how good that Kevin De Bruyne looked. He was just so good. Will he start him? We'll get onto that in a bit, but that is very good news. He went on to say, Guardiola, I saw him yesterday in training, that is. And he feels good and dynamic. He played well, better than the sessions before Huddersfield. He is getting better. That's the thing is, like, I think there's probably an element of Guardiola and De Bruyne sort of holding back in training until he had those first minutes against Huddersfield. And you can't really put into words what it can do for your psyche or your confidence. Because when you get an injury, and I'm not sure, even I've had it, I'm not a footballer, but you know when you've hurt yourself and you're sort of reluctant to put a bit of, I remember like just pulling, I did ligaments in my knee when I was young, I'm pretty certain I did, because I was hobbling around for several weeks. I did something really bad with my knee at one point. It wasn't ligaments, but probably a minor tear, or I did something when I was like 12, 13, because I remember just hobbling for 2 months. Whatever it was, but I remember being reluctant to run properly again. Until one day I just did, and I felt better, and after that I was fine. And like, obviously a footballer, they're sort of reluctant to put a bit of everything into it because they're nervous. But I think Huddersfield would have made De Bruyne feel great, you know? It would have made him feel great, and I feel like after that, he's probably been so much better in training because he trusts his body, and he's probably been bouncing around the CFA, which is great stuff, and I can't wait to see. Bahia, the Brazilian club, training right now at the CFA, which is nice. Yeah, interesting. Guardiola talked about the season. He said, you cannot imagine how pleased I am for us to be where we are in the competitions this season. I was tired at the beginning of the season, and I was a bit worried of all the challenges we have faced, but we've won 2 trophies already. It's interesting to see Guardiola say he was tired at the start of the season. Do you know what? I get that, actually. Look, to find the mental energy to go again after a treble, it's hard, and I think he probably felt a little bit jaded as well because he was trying to convince Mahrez, Gundogan, and Walker to stay. It must be weird to have all that success and have key players leave and not get the players that you want in the transfer window. We know he wanted Bellingham and Rice. We know he wanted Paqueta. He must have felt a little bit jaded because it's like, you think it'd be easier after all that success. And it's not always the way. If anything, it gets harder. But I think the reaction of the players and where we are right now, and of course the new signings coming in, and obviously his talent now with Doku and Vardiol and so on, I think he's enjoyed it again. I think he's got going again. And I think adversity, look, some people shrivel up into the face of adversity. Some people like Guardiola and a lot of these City players, they get going again and they find their true, their true motivation. Guardiola talks a lot about what City have achieved in these legacy. He said, this decade, what we have done, Man City, will mean lots of young boys and girls now supporters. And when they do that, they do it for life. You can change lots of things, but they're not the team you support. And he's bang on. Fundamentally, we talk a lot about fake fans and all that kind of stuff, but most fans do stick with their team, It's why this sort of glory fan thing is sort of overplayed. It is to an extent. I think in the olden days, maybe, but I think the problem is these days, not a problem, it's a good thing. People lay their colours down quite early on. They nail the, what's it called, flag to the mast or whatever. They do that. And they do it online, so you can't escape from what you've said in the previous leagues. Well, some Fairweather fans could probably get away in the 90s saying they supported United and now Liverpool, whatever. They can't do that these days because there's history online, So fans do sort of stick to their team. I think they do these days. So Guardiola's right to say you can't change your team. So what we're doing right now is absolutely important. It's crucially important. So what's going on there? What the hell's going on there with Haaland? That is a terrifying picture. No idea what's going on there. That is terrified me. That is absolutely terrified me, guys. It really has. Can anyone explain that? Guys, please like the video, by the way. It would be massively appreciated. So, there's the press conference quotes there. Let's get on to Newcastle a little bit. We'll look at the league table. Newcastle, everyone tipped them to be, challenging for the top 4. They are down in 9th. They are currently 11 points off the top 4. They aren't going to make it this season. And all the reports over the past week or so, let me just find it right. Newcastle United. apparently are going to have to sell some players. Where has it gone? So here we go. I bring up the article right now. Newcastle are in a bit of a mess right now. It says Newcastle may have to sell key player and some after 73 million loss. Newcastle said that they may have to sell one of the best players this summer as they strive to remain on the right side of the Premier League's profit and sustainability regulations. A loss of 155 million the past 3 seasons. They spent an awful lot. Darren Eales said we're compliant, but they refuse to rule out the possibility of trading players such as Bruno Guimaraes, Alexander Isak or Sven Botman, or even leaving St James's Park for a new stadium. Yeah, I mean, they are struggling to hit financial fair play. And look, if they are where they are right now down in ninth, it's not going to happen. It's funny watching Newcastle fans and some journalists who, of course, who support Newcastle sort of realise what City fans realised a long time ago, that these rules are sort of there to keep the established clubs in place. They are. They can pretend it's to protect everyone else. I do understand the arguments that, you know, if one club can just spend $1 trillion every summer, then what's the point? I get that. I'm not stupid. I get it. But there's the other side to it. We know the true intention was always just to protect the big clubs. I don't believe it was done out of honesty and integrity and just out the kindness of their heart to protect everyone. Oh, come on. Of course it wasn't. They don't care about Bury going bust. United never cared about that. They only care about City taking their place. It's all they ever cared about. And they were the ones pushing for it. Don't be so naive, man. It's how it is. But either way, Newcastle, if you look at Newcastle's form, look, they are not in a good place right now, Newcastle. Their form has been so up and down. Of course, they won the FA Cup the other day against Sunderland. But before that, they had, look at all the losses in a row. They had a loss against Newcastle. They lost to Forest. They lost to Luton. They went out of the Carabao Cup to Chelsea on pens, I think it was. Before that, of course, he beat Fulham 3-0, but they also lost to Milan. They lost to Newcastle, to Spurs. He lost to Everton. Their run of form right now is just poor. They are really struggling. They are missing some players. I mean, I think they've got quite a few out. Joe Linton is out right now. They've got Callum Wilson, Matt Targett, Nick Pope, Jacob Murphy, Joe Willock, Harvey Barnes, Elliot Anderson, Javier Manquillo. They've got a lot of players missing right now. They've still got a pretty strong team, don't get me wrong. I'm expecting a team of something like Dubravka, Trippier, Shaw, Botman, Byrne, Longstaff, Guimaraes, Lewis Miley, who's only 17, of course, looks really good, though. Almiron, Isak, and Gordon. So it's a pretty good team, but they're missing so many players right now. They're missing so many players that it has affected their form. You can tell, obviously, that some of these would be starting. Joe Linton would be starting every now and then, you know. Probably Nick Pope, Matt Targett, Joe Willock would be getting games. Look, a lot of these players would be getting games right now. So they are missing some key players. Of course, he's still got Bruno Guimaraes. I would probably take him as well, Chad Mould. He's a really good player, though. I want something a little more dynamic, maybe. But Newcastle right now, look, even at home, they lost to Forest 3-1. That was a really bad performance from them. Deservedly so as well. Look at the XG there. They had their chances for us, you know. This is how they lined up against them. Shaw, Trippier, Botman, Byrne in defence, Miley Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Almiron, Isaac, Gordon, and Dubravka. Basically how they're going to line up here. And it is look at the midfield. Look, Bruno's quality. Lewis Miley is a good player, but he is only young. Longstaff is a good player once again, but not elite level. Shaw, Botman, all right. Dan Byrne, yeah, Trippier. Almiron, Gordon, Isaac. It's a pretty good front line. But it's not their best team, you know. How do I expect us to be? How do I expect us to line up? What I will say, I reckon it's going to be something like this. You know, Ederson will be in goal, of course. So we are only missing Stones and Haaland. So what I will say is, I'm going to look at our recent results and let's have a look at. That's the freakiest picture in the world, isn't it? Let's have a look. Our recent results. Here we go. So, of course, we're in a good run of form right now, you know. We've won our last 5 in a row in all competitions. 7 out of the last... Six... Wait. That's... 7 out of the last 8 we've won. We drew up against Palace, of course. But since then, 5-0 against Huddersfield, 2-0 against Sheffield United, 3-1 away at Everton. Beat Fluminense, of course, 4-0. Urawa Reds. Sheffield United, this is how we lined up. It was Walker, Akanji, Ake, Vardy, Kovacic, Rodri, Bernardo, Foden, Grealish, Alvarez. Like, if you work backwards through the team, we know Alvarez is going to start. Alvarez will absolutely start. Bernardo Silva's available. He will start out here. Rodri's absolutely going to play. You look at the guaranteed ones. I think Kyle Walker's going to play as well. Akanji. Is he available, Akanji? Guardiola didn't mention Akanji, did he? I don't think Guardiola actually mentioned Akanji in the press conference. Looking at the comments, Nico, I think he's just quite arrogant to come on a video, mate, and just ask me to apologise to you. Like, no, you're not that guy, mate. With all due respect, it's ages ago. You don't get to come and disrupt a video and ask me to apologise to you. It's arrogant. Let everyone else have their chats, and chat about it, It's rude. So apparently, Jack Gordon said Candy hasn't trained all week. I do look in terms of the U team stuff. I don't watch academies as much as I used to because there's not a time. One day when my son's growing up, I'll get back to the academy games a little bit more. But it's just hard being a parent. I can't get to the academy on a Saturday morning anymore. I'm too busy trying to catch up on sleep. But I reckon in terms of the team, no Akanji by the looks of it. So I think it'll be something like this. I think it picks itself, really, if we're being honest. It's going to be this. I think Vardy will play left back. I think Ake will play. I think it's going to be that. I mean, who else could it possibly be? No Stones, no Akanji. It's going to be that. So this is where it gets interesting. I think if Jack's available, he will play. But it could be Doku, I honestly think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do this. I think he's going to do it, I think he's going to do it. Imagine. No, I think actually what's realistically going to happen, I think away at Newcastle, it'll be this. I think De Bruyne will be on the bench. I think Kovacic will play with Rodri. I think it's going to be something like that. Kovacic was great against Newcastle in the season. Kovacic's form right now is actually pretty good as well. I think he's probably looking sharp. Nunes played really well the other day as well. But I think it's going to be Kovacic and Rodri, Foden there, which of course does mean the bench will look something like this. Not available will be Stones. Who's not available? Stones, Akanji, and Haaland. They're the ones that are not available, right? So in terms of the actual bench, I suspect it will be... I'll kind of write it out with you guys now on screen. 1 second. So they're the ones not available there. On screen, we're going to have... Ortega will be on the bench, of course. We'll have Rico Lewis. We'll have Gomez. That's sort of it for the defenders, isn't it? Phillips will be available, I reckon. Nunes, De Bruyne. Who else? Doku. And then Bob. And then after that, I think... Have I missed anyone there from the senior team? It's easily done. I reckon it'll probably then be... potentially Hamilton? Is that everyone? That's 5 minutes. 9, isn't it? Yeah, probably that, or Susaho, or one of these lot, or Wright. It'll be one of those, or probably Carson potentially, something like that. In terms of the bench, I reckon. It'll be something like that, I reckon. Which I'm pretty relaxed with, largely speaking. I really am. I think it's a pretty good lineup. I think it works. I mean, De Bruyne, if he plays with Foden, it'd be great, wouldn't it? I'd absolutely love that. If De Bruyne was to play, I think it'd be something like this instead. I think the way he'd do it, he'd do this. And I think he'd actually put Foden back out on the right again, which would be annoying. But I think he'd want more control, and I think he'd do something like that. I think it'd be more like that. Does anyone else agree? I could be wrong. I think he'd do something like that. But either way, I'm pretty relaxed. I'm looking forward to this game. I trust the team right now. I think they're in good form. I think the De Bruyne factor cannot be underestimated. He's flying right now. He really is. I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory. I think I can see us conceding away. I reckon 3-1 victory, We're doing good. I'm going to say 3-1 victory. Alvarez is going to score. De Bruyne to come on. De Bruyne to come on, get a late goal maybe, I don't know. Either way, I think we'll be good. I'm looking forward to this. I really do feel City right now in a good space. I think Doku could potentially be involved as well. Nunes could be involved. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Nunes start. I think his energy was really good the other day against Huddersfield. He's getting smarter. His little kind of give and goes are really nice as well. He links up with Foden nicely. But I'm expecting, City to win 3-1. It's going to be important that Ake and Guardiola are really on it. Diaz and Walker, I think the defence will be up for this. I think they'll be good as well. Could see Rico Lewis play potentially. That would be a decent option as well. But I still think it'll be, Rodri, Kovacic, Foden for now, with De Bruyne on the bench, Silva out wide on the right, Grealish on the left. If not Doku, Grealish is not well enough yet. Guys, let me know in the comments what you make of this potential game, what you think it will be. For now, give the video a like, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for a watch along. In a bit, you Blues have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.